Hitting 70 isn't an end, but rather a new beginning, a fresh chapter in the book of life. After years of working hard, raising a family, and managing the hustle and bustle of daily responsibilities, it's time to embrace a new phase, one where the focus shifts from survival to living fully. The truth is, life after 70 doesn't look the same as it did in our younger years, and that's perfectly fine. What once made sense in our earlier days doesn't always fit the life we lead now, and that's what makes this stage of life so freeing. This chapter is about letting go of things that no longer serve us and making room for new experiences, growth, and peace of mind. As we age, we often start questioning long-held beliefs and habits. We may begin to see that what we once thought was necessary, things like chasing perfection, holding on to possessions, or living up to external expectations, no longer holds the same value. After 70, it's not about fitting into the same mold we once did. It's about choosing a life that brings peace, joy, and purpose, one that reflects who we are today, not who we were in our younger years. This shift allows us to prioritize what truly matters: personal happiness, good health, and meaningful connections. It's about choosing freedom over obligation, simplicity over excess, and living unapologetically. This journey of self-discovery and release is not always easy, but it's incredibly empowering. As we embark on this journey, it's important to recognize that we are deserving of this next chapter, a chapter where we can truly thrive. So, let's take a closer look at the lessons that come with living life fully after 70, and how letting go of certain habits and beliefs can create space for a more joyful, peaceful existence. 1. Letting go of the pursuit of perfection. As women over 70, one of the most liberating realizations we come to is that perfection is an illusion, a concept that once seemed so important, but now feels increasingly irrelevant. Throughout our lives, we've been conditioned to pursue perfection in every facet of our existence. We were told that we should have perfect homes, flawless bodies, impeccable careers, and smooth, youthful faces. The world around us constantly reinforced this belief, whether it was through the media, family expectations, or societal standards. We were made to believe that if we could just attain perfection, we would be happier, healthier, and more fulfilled. But here's the truth we all need to face. Perfection does not equal happiness. In fact, chasing perfection can rob us of the joy that comes from simply being human, with all of our imperfections. Perfection is exhausting, it's draining, and it's ultimately unachievable. The pursuit of perfection places an overwhelming amount of pressure on us. It creates a narrative that we're never enough as we are, that we always need to be better, more polished, more accomplished, more youthful. And as time passes, this pursuit only becomes more of a burden. Take a moment to reflect on how much of your life you spent trying to achieve perfection. How many hours did you spend cleaning every inch of your house to meet the standards of a spotless home? How many hours did you spend in front of the mirror, critiquing every wrinkle, every gray hair, every inch of your skin, trying to maintain the youthful appearance that society told you was essential? How many social gatherings did you attend, despite feeling exhausted, just to maintain an image of perfection for the sake of others? When we're younger, these pursuits might feel justified. After all, they align with the pressures of youth, fitting in, being admired, seeking approval. We've spent so much time striving to meet external expectations that we've missed out on the most important part of living, enjoying life for what it is. Perfection has kept us from fully appreciating our own worth and beauty. It has distracted us from embracing who we are and what we have accomplished. It's time to let go of perfection and instead embrace something much more rewarding: imperfection. Our imperfections are not flaws, they are the marks of a life well lived. Those laugh lines on our faces, They are the souvenirs of decades of joy, love and laughter. The silver in our hair? It tells the story of resilience and strength, of having lived through both triumphs and challenges. Our bodies, too, carry the history of our lives, the scars, the sagging skin, the wrinkles, the aches and pains. They all speak to the fact that we've lived fully, that we've experienced life in its rawest, most beautiful form. By letting go of the pursuit of perfection, we allow ourselves to focus on what truly brings joy. It's not about maintaining a perfect home or always looking our best. It's about connecting with others, making memories, and living authentically. We no longer need to prove ourselves to others. The effort to achieve perfection for the sake of external validation is no longer necessary. We have earned the freedom to be our true selves, to show up without pretense, and to enjoy life on our own terms. One of the most significant benefits of letting go of perfection is the mental and emotional freedom it brings. Perfectionism is often accompanied by a deep-seated fear of failure. When we let go of this fear, we open ourselves up to more joy, more creativity, and more peace. We can finally stop scrutinizing ourselves for every minor flaw and instead begin to appreciate the unique beauty of who we are. It's important to remember that embracing imperfection doesn't mean neglecting care or self-respect. It simply means shifting our focus from striving for an unattainable ideal to embracing the natural ebb and flow of life. We are allowed to love ourselves as we are, with all our quirks, flaws, and idiosyncrasies. Life is not about perfection. It's about experience, it's about growth, learning, and celebrating the fact that we are still here, living and thriving. Now that we've let go of the need to be perfect, we can begin to focus on the things that truly matter. Let's invest our time and energy in what brings us joy and peace. Instead of worrying about how our homes look or how we appear to others, we can focus on creating meaningful moments, whether that's spending time with loved ones, traveling to places we've always wanted to visit, or simply relaxing and enjoying our own company. Imperfection is where the beauty of life truly lies. By choosing to embrace imperfection, we allow ourselves to live authentically and wholeheartedly. We stop measuring our worth by an impossible standard and start measuring it by the love we give, the connections we make, and the happiness we find in the simple moments of life. 2. Letting go of the fear of aging. Turning 70 often brings with it a deep, reflective realization that we've lived a lifetime. And while this can be empowering, it can also provoke fear. The fear of aging is something many of us carry for years, even decades. Society has conditioned us to believe that growing older means a decline in our value, our beauty, and our capabilities. From the media to family expectations, we've been taught to fear the visible signs of aging, whether it's graying hair, wrinkles, or our bodies not working the way they used to. We've been told that growing old is something to be avoided, something to be feared. But what if we could flip the script? What if aging was seen not as something to fear, but something to embrace? Aging doesn't mean you are any less valuable. In fact, it means the opposite. It means you have experienced life, you have accumulated wisdom, you have weathered the storms, and you've come out stronger. There's a richness in life that only comes with age, an understanding, a calm, a depth of character that youth simply cannot offer. It's a beautiful thing. The problem comes when we allow the fear of aging to take root in our minds. This fear can steal our peace, drain our energy, and prevent us from fully embracing the stage of life we're in. We get caught up in trying to fight the aging process, whether it's through expensive creams, surgeries, or endless youth-chasing behaviors. But the reality is, we can't turn back the clock. We're going to age, but that's not a bad thing, it's a privilege. Not everyone gets to grow old. There's something incredibly freeing about letting go of the fear of aging. When you release that fear, you free yourself to live with authenticity. No longer do you need to hide behind a mask of youth or perfection. You can step into your true self, fully accepting every wrinkle, every grey hair, every change that comes with aging. These marks are not signs of decline. They are testaments to the life you've lived. Every grey hair tells the story of wisdom gained through experience. Every wrinkle represents a moment of laughter or love shared. Your body, though it may be changing, is still strong and capable of amazing things. So instead of fearing the inevitable, embrace it. Aging is an opportunity to embrace who you truly are without the societal pressures that once made you feel like you had to conform. It's about focusing on the quality of your life, not the number of years you have left. Stop worrying about the number of candles on your birthday cake and start celebrating the richness that comes with each passing year. You've earned this time. You've earned the freedom to live life on your own terms. Here's a powerful thought to remember. Aging is a natural part of life. It's not something to fear, but something to honor. Let go of the pressure to stay young. Instead, let go of the need to constantly measure yourself against some societal standard of youth. Embrace the beauty of growing older. Embrace your evolving self and celebrate the wisdom that comes with the years. Living authentically means acknowledging your age and embracing it with grace. You don't need to hide the marks of time. Wear them proudly as a badge of honor. These years are yours, and they've shaped you into the woman you are today. Stronger, wiser, and more beautiful than ever before. Aging doesn't take away from your worth. It adds to it. It's time to let go of the fear of aging and instead let yourself fully experience and enjoy the life you have. You are worthy of peace, joy, and freedom at any age, and that's something to celebrate. 3. Letting go of the need to please others. As women, we've often been conditioned to care for others, to be the peacekeepers, to show up and make sure everyone else is happy. This instinct to please others is deeply ingrained, and it can be hard to shed. Throughout our lives, we've taken on roles as caregivers, mothers, daughters, and friends, and we've learned that our worth is often tied to how much we do for others. But as we step into the later chapters of life, particularly after 70, we must start asking ourselves, is this really still serving us? Am I sacrificing my own happiness to make others happy? When we are younger, this people-pleasing habit might feel like it's needed to maintain harmony and strengthen relationships. But over time, it can drain our energy and prevent us from living authentically. We are no longer required to stretch ourselves thin for the sake of pleasing others. The reality is that as we get older, we need to focus more on ourselves. We've earned the right to prioritize our own happiness, health, and peace. At 70, the time spent constantly worrying about what others think or trying to make them happy can be better invested in taking care of ourselves, enjoying the things we love, and simply being present. The turning point for me came when I realized I was saying yes to commitments I didn't want to make. Family dinners, events I wasn't truly interested in, and favors that drained me were all things I said yes to because I didn't want to disappoint anyone. But in doing so, I was neglecting my own needs. I wasn't honoring the space I needed to rest, reflect, or just be. It was a realization that came later, but I realized that living to please others could no longer be my priority. Now I ask myself before committing to something, is this something I truly want to do, or am I just saying yes to avoid conflict or guilt? More often than not, if the answer isn't a firm yes, I say no. I've learned that saying no is not a reflection of my love or care for others, but rather an act of self-respect. And more importantly, it has given me the freedom to engage in the activities that bring me joy without the weight of obligation. The freedom to say no without guilt is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself after 70. It allows you to conserve your energy for things that truly matter to you. It opens up space for new experiences, new joys, and, most importantly, new peace. And let me tell you, the people who truly care about you will understand. Those who don't will eventually accept that your life is yours to live, not theirs to direct. We are not obligated to live by others' standards anymore. We've done our part, and now it's time to do what makes us happy. It is time to stop pleasing others for the sake of keeping the peace and start living for ourselves. You have every right to live the life that feels true to you. Letting go of the need to please others will free up so much emotional energy that you can focus on what makes you truly happy. For me, it was about realizing that this stage of life isn't about balancing others' expectations. It's about crafting a life that reflects my true desires and values. And once I began to let go of the need to please everyone, I found I was able to please myself, and that's been far more fulfilling than I ever expected. 4. Letting go of the need for perfection. Throughout our lives, we've been taught that perfection is the ultimate goal. Whether it's about our homes, our appearance, or our work, we've been conditioned to believe that we must always put forward the best version of ourselves. We were told to clean the house until it sparkled, to make sure our children had the best education, and to keep everything flawless. This relentless chase for perfection was often driven by a fear of judgment, a need to meet societal expectations, and sometimes a desire to feel validated by others. But at 70, the pursuit of perfection no longer holds the same value. In fact, perfection has become a burden. The more we strive for it, the more we find ourselves missing out on the real moments of life, the ones that truly matter. The truth is, the pursuit of perfection often comes at the cost of happiness. It leads to stress, anxiety, and exhaustion, and most importantly, it distracts us from truly enjoying life. I remember one Thanksgiving when I was still caught in the web of trying to be perfect. I spent days cleaning the house, cooking, arranging decorations, and ensuring everything was just right. I was so consumed by the idea of creating the perfect holiday experience that by the time the big day came, I was exhausted, irritable, and completely drained. And the worst part? No one noticed the little details I had spent hours perfecting. No one cared that the dessert plates were matching or that the centerpieces were meticulously arranged. What they cared about was the time spent together, the laughter, the stories, and the memories. That was a wake-up call. I realized that perfection wasn't what people valued. What they valued was my presence, my warmth, and the love I brought to the table. The truth is, life is full of imperfections, and that's what makes it beautiful. It's the moments of spontaneity, the laughter that follows a mistake, and the love that fills the air when we let go of the need to control everything. Now, I embrace imperfection. If my cake sinks in the middle, I still enjoy it. If there's a bit of dust on the shelves when friends come over, I focus on the conversations, not the cleanliness. I've stopped stressing about the little things because I've learned that they don't matter. Perfection doesn't add to our joy, it takes away from it. By letting go of the need to be perfect, I've found that I can actually enjoy life more fully. I'm no longer weighed down by unrealistic expectations. I'm free to be myself, to make mistakes, and to laugh without the fear of being judged. Life is much more fun when we stop trying to perfect it and instead just live it. In the end, the pursuit of perfection only holds us back. The most meaningful experiences in life happen when we let go of that pursuit and embrace the beautiful mess that comes with being human. After 70, it's time to throw out the notion that everything must be perfect. It's time to focus on what truly brings us happiness, real, unfiltered, authentic moments. And trust me, those moments are far more rewarding than anything that can be polished to perfection. 5. Letting go of toxic relationships. As we grow older, we often come to realize that not all relationships are meant to last forever. For decades, we've been conditioned to believe that we must endure toxic friendships, unbalanced family dynamics, or one-sided partnerships simply because we've invested so much time into them. We're taught to never give up and to always be there for others, regardless of how much it costs us emotionally. But after 70, maintaining toxic relationships simply doesn't make sense anymore. Time is no longer a resource we can afford to waste. Every moment counts, and we should spend it with people who uplift us, who bring joy to our lives, and who support us unconditionally. I had a friend named Linda, and we had known each other for over 30 years. She was a wonderful person, but she had a knack for negativity. Every time we got together, she would spend hours complaining about her life, belittling others, and finding fault with everything around her. I would leave our conversations feeling drained and exhausted, but for years I kept the friendship alive, feeling guilty about letting it go. One day I had an epiphany. Why was I spending my precious time with someone who made me feel less than happy or fulfilled? Life is short, and I wanted to spend it with people who inspired me and made me feel better, not worse. So, I made the difficult decision to step away from that friendship. Was it hard? Yes. But did I feel relief afterward? Absolutely. Since then, I've focused on relationships that nourish me. I invest my time and energy in people who bring out the best in me, who make me laugh, and who genuinely care about my well-being. These are the people who fill my heart with warmth and joy, and they're the ones who truly make life worth living. I want to share this important lesson with you. Walking away from a toxic relationship isn't selfish, it's self-care. There's a common misconception that we should hold on to every friendship, no matter how draining or harmful it may be. But the truth is, life is too precious to waste on negativity. You deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up, not bring you down. When you let go of toxic relationships, you create space for the people and experiences that truly matter. It's an act of love, not just for yourself, but also for the people you choose to keep in your life. You may find that your relationships are not just healthier, but also more fulfilling. So don't be afraid to say goodbye to those who drain your energy and say hello to those who restore it. In fact, the more I've distanced myself from toxic relationships, the more space I've created for positive, meaningful connections. These are the relationships that make me feel truly alive. They are the ones that remind me how wonderful it is to be surrounded by people who respect, support, and care for me. And isn't that what we all deserve, especially after 70? The freedom to spend our time with those who bring joy, not drama. 6. Embracing the new and letting go of the old. As we age, society often expects us to slow down and settle into familiar routines. But the truth is, life after 70 doesn't have to be about winding down. It can be about expanding, evolving, and embracing new experiences. One of the most liberating things we can do at this stage of life is to let go of old habits, beliefs, and expectations that no longer serve us. Instead of holding tightly to the past, we have the opportunity to embrace the present and future, exploring new interests and rediscovering passions that bring us joy and fulfillment. It's about learning to grow in new ways, challenging ourselves to step outside of comfort zones and to welcome change instead of fearing it. One of the most profound moments of self-realization for me was when I decided to take up painting. At first, I hesitated, doubting myself and my ability to master something new. I thought, I'm too old to start something like this, but deep down, I knew this was the perfect time to try. I'd spent my younger years juggling responsibilities, raising children, working hard, and putting my own desires on the back burner. But now, the time had come for me to give myself permission to explore my creative side, regardless of whether I'd become a great artist. So I picked up a brush for the first time in years and let the colors flow. Initially, the results were far from perfect, but that didn't matter. What mattered was the sheer joy I felt as I let go of my fears and embraced the process of creating something new. It wasn't about the finished product. It was about the experience of learning, expressing myself, and enjoying the freedom to create without worrying about expectations. That one simple act of starting something new opened up a world of possibilities for me. Since then, I've taken up gardening, started journaling every day, and even joined a local choir. Each of these activities has brought new meaning to my life, filling my days with purpose, joy, and excitement. What I realized is that this stage of life is not about slowing down or accepting that it is too late to start something new. It's about giving ourselves the freedom to grow, to try new things, and to experience life in ways we never thought possible. Embracing the new means being open to fresh experiences and learning opportunities. It might be something as simple as trying a new recipe, picking up a new book, or joining a social group to meet new people. Or it could be something more adventurous, like traveling to places you've always wanted to visit, taking up a sport you've never tried before, or finally going back to school to pursue a long-forgotten dream. The possibilities are endless, and what's most important is the willingness to try. Of course, embracing the new also means letting go of the old, habits, mindsets, and fears that no longer serve us. There is no reason to hold on to outdated beliefs or to continue engaging in activities that drain our energy without bringing us joy. This is the time to shed what weighs us down. Letting go of the past is an essential part of this process. We all have things that we've clung to out of habit or fear of change. But once we let go, we find that there's room for growth, new experiences, and even a deeper sense of peace. For example, I used to be reluctant to travel because I believed I was too old for long journeys, or that travel would be too exhausting. But once I started to embrace the idea of exploring new places, even in my 70s, I found that traveling brought me a renewed sense of vitality. The adventure, the learning, and the experiences I gathered were priceless. I learned to let go of the fear of age and limitations and open myself to the beauty of the world around me. Letting go also means releasing the fear of failure. So many of us have been taught that we should always succeed, that we must always do things perfectly. But in reality, life is not about perfection. It's about enjoyment, growth, and the willingness to try, fail, and learn. And this applies to every area of life, whether it's learning a new skill, trying a new hobby, or even building new relationships. This stage of life is not the time to hold back. It's the time to step forward with courage, curiosity, and enthusiasm. Don't let fear hold you back from exploring new opportunities. Don't let doubts prevent you from starting something fresh. You are never too old to pursue your passions, start new ventures, or discover new parts of yourself. The most rewarding experiences often come from stepping into the unknown and allowing yourself to grow in ways you didn't expect. Letting go of the old and embracing the new can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you've spent years living with certain beliefs or routines. But once you begin the process of letting go, you'll notice a profound shift in your energy, your perspective, and your overall sense of well-being. You will feel lighter, more focused, and more connected to the life you are living now, not the one you used to live. Embrace the new with open arms. Don't resist change. Invite it. It's not about denying the past, but about creating a future that feels exciting, fulfilling, and full of possibilities. Whether it's learning to paint, taking up a new hobby, or simply changing the way you look at the world, this is your time to grow, to explore, and to truly live. And in doing so, you will find that life after 70 isn't the end. It is just the beginning of an entirely new adventure. 7. Embracing technology. No age limits. As we move through life, especially after 70, we often find ourselves facing the fear of technology. Many people in our generation were raised without the constant presence of smartphones, tablets, and computers. So the thought of embracing these devices later in life can seem overwhelming. But here's the truth. Technology is not just for the younger generation. It's a tool that can open doors to new opportunities and connections at any age. I used to shy away from learning how to use a smartphone, let alone navigating the internet or understanding the intricacies of social media. At first, I thought it was beyond my reach. But then, one day, my granddaughter came over and showed me how to use a tablet. She patiently walked me through video calling, checking emails, and browsing the web. Little did I know, this simple introduction would change my life. At first, it felt like a foreign language, and I wasn't sure if I could keep up. But soon enough, I began to realize just how empowering technology could be. I could video call my children and grandchildren, see them face to face no matter how far away they were. I could explore new hobbies through YouTube tutorials, attend online fitness classes designed specifically for seniors, and even join virtual communities of people my age, sharing experiences and advice. The world that once seemed so intimidating had suddenly become vast and exciting. Learning technology has opened up a world of information and connection that I never imagined possible. For example, I've started learning Spanish through an online course, and it's been a joy to discover something new. I also use my tablet to explore new recipes, research hobbies, and even share my experiences with others through online blogs and social media. I now feel more connected than ever before to the world, my family, and even new friends I've met through virtual groups. One of the biggest changes I noticed after embracing technology was the feeling of connectedness. I'd always felt a bit isolated, especially when my family wasn't nearby. But now, with a few clicks, I can reach out to loved ones, stay informed about current events, and even attend virtual events like webinars or book clubs. Technology has given me the opportunity to engage with the world around me in a way I never imagined possible in my 70s. So if you haven't already, I encourage you to embrace technology. Start small, learn how to send an email, make a video call, or browse the internet. Take your time, ask for help if needed, and explore the many tools at your disposal. It's never too late to learn something new, and the benefits are immeasurable. Technology connects us, helps us grow, and allows us to live more fully in this ever-evolving world. The fear of technology can feel overwhelming at first, but trust me, it's worth the effort. We have spent our lives adapting to changes, and this is just another opportunity for growth. Whether you're learning to use social media, discovering new hobbies online, or connecting with old friends through a video chat, technology can bring a sense of joy, empowerment, and connection that will enhance your life in ways you never thought possible. And the best part, you don't need to be a tech expert to enjoy all the benefits technology has to offer. You simply need the curiosity to explore and the courage to try. Embracing technology after 70 can open doors to a world of new experiences, connections, and opportunities that will make this stage of life even more fulfilling. So, take the leap. Learn something new today and see where technology can take you. 8. Living without the need for approval, the power of authenticity. One of the most liberating realizations that comes with age is the freedom to stop seeking approval from others. For most of our lives, we were conditioned to care about what people thought, whether it was about how we dressed, the choices we made, or the way we lived. For years, I would dress a certain way to meet social expectations, attend events out of obligation, and make decisions that would please others, often at the expense of my own happiness. But after 70, I learned that the most important approval you can seek is your own. There was a time when I would question every decision I made, wondering if others would approve. Would they think my choice of hobbies was too frivolous? Would they judge me for taking vacations instead of staying home to look after things? As women, especially older women, we often feel that we must fit into certain molds set by society, whether it's to be the perfect mother, grandmother, or wife. But the truth is, these expectations can be suffocating. They limit our ability to live freely and authentically. I'll never forget a conversation I had with a friend not long ago. She confessed that she'd been feeling increasingly restless in her life, trying to please everyone around her, her children, her spouse, and even friends. "I keep worrying about what others think," she told me. "What will they say if I start spending my time on things I actually enjoy?" I told her what I now believe wholeheartedly. It's your life, and you've earned the right to live it for yourself. After 70, we can stop worrying about the approval of others because we are no longer bound by the need to conform to anyone's expectations but our own. We've spent decades caring for others, making compromises, and working hard to meet the demands of life. Now, we have earned the freedom to prioritize our own desires, values, and interests. Living without seeking approval is incredibly empowering. It means choosing to wear the clothes that make you feel confident, even if they don't meet someone else's idea of appropriate. It means saying no to invitations that don't align with your well-being, even if you feel guilty. It means prioritizing your happiness over the opinions of others. I used to worry about what people thought of me at social gatherings. Would they think I was too loud, too quiet, or too opinionated? But now, when I walk into a room, I walk in proudly. I don't hide my opinions or shy away from expressing my true feelings. I don't overthink what people might say or judge, because I know that the most important thing is staying true to myself. And when it comes to family, the same principle applies. I stopped feeling the need to be the perfect mother, grandmother, or wife. Instead, I focused on being the best version of myself. I spend time with my family on my own terms, engaging in conversations that feel authentic and setting healthy boundaries when needed. They may not always agree with my choices, but I no longer feel the need to defend myself or seek their approval. In fact, I believe that the more authentic we are, the more we empower others to be true to themselves as well. By living our lives unapologetically, we create a ripple effect of authenticity in those around us. People start to feel more comfortable embracing their own uniqueness and not living according to what others expect of them. It's a beautiful thing to embrace authenticity in our later years. We don't need to fit into any mold. We don't need to apologize for choosing joy over obligation or for prioritizing ourselves. Living authentically gives us the confidence to pursue new interests, challenge the status quo, and live life fully without fear of judgment. So, from here on out, I choose to live for me. I choose to make decisions that make me happy and content. I choose to spend my time doing things that bring me joy, whether that's traveling, picking up new hobbies, or simply enjoying a quiet afternoon in my garden. I have earned the right to be me, unapologetically, authentically, and without needing anyone's approval. And you know what? You've earned it too. Embrace your authenticity, be proud of who you are, and stop seeking validation from others. This is your time to live freely, without the pressure to conform. The world needs your uniqueness, and so do you. 9. Letting go of the fear of aging, embracing the wisdom and grace that come with the years. Aging often carries a stigma in society, especially for women. The media, popular culture, and even our social circles tend to glorify youth and beauty, subtly making older women feel less relevant, less vibrant, or even invisible. We are conditioned to think that aging is something to fear, something to fight against. But as I've gotten older, I've come to realize that the fear of aging is far more detrimental than the process of aging itself. When I turned 70, I felt this pressure, this unspoken expectation that I should still look young, still be energetic, still hold on to the things I did when I was younger. I began to notice the grey hairs on my head and the lines on my face, and for a brief moment felt a pang of regret. I tried to deny my age, hiding my grey hair with dye and using anti-aging creams. But then, as I continued to embrace the wisdom that comes with age, I realized something profoundly liberating. Aging is not something to be feared. Aging is something to be celebrated. It was when I stopped fearing the passage of time that I began to feel a deep sense of peace. I let go of the constant struggle to maintain youthfulness and allowed myself to age with grace. I learned to see my wrinkles not as flaws, but as evidence of a life well lived. Each laugh line, each silver strand of hair represents a moment of joy, a lesson learned or a challenge overcome. These marks are not a sign of weakness. They are a testament to resilience, strength, and experience. When we stop fearing the natural process of aging, we allow ourselves to appreciate the richness of our lives. The wisdom we've gained over the years gives us a deeper perspective on what truly matters. We no longer feel the need to prove ourselves or to compete with younger generations. We can just be. We realize that there is so much beauty in simply existing, in being present for the moments that matter most. Aging also allows us the space to let go of the pressures we once carried. The pressures to be perfect, to look a certain way, or to live up to others' expectations. We've lived long enough to know that perfection is an illusion. What truly matters is how we feel in our skin, how we choose to show up in the world, and how we engage with those around us. We don't need to constantly chase approval or seek validation from others. We have the wisdom to know that our worth is inherent and it is not defined by our age or appearance. But embracing aging doesn't mean resigning ourselves to passivity or stagnation. On the contrary, it's about embracing the fullness of life with all its seasons. It's about giving ourselves permission to slow down, but also to explore new adventures. Whether it's taking up a new hobby, traveling, or simply enjoying the company of loved ones, the later years can be some of the most fulfilling years of our lives. Aging is not the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter where we can prioritize what truly matters to us. And there is power in accepting that our bodies will change. They may not be as strong as they once were, and they may show the signs of time. But our bodies are also the vessels that have carried us through life's challenges. Rather than focusing on what we've lost, we can shift our attention to all that we've gained: strength, wisdom, compassion, and resilience. Our bodies have carried us through a lifetime of experiences, and now it's time to honor them for what they are. It's also important to remember that aging doesn't mean fading into the background. It's a chance to step into the spotlight and embrace the freedom that comes with age. We no longer have to conform to society's standards or expectations. Instead, we can embrace our uniqueness and make choices that align with our true selves. As we age, we can shine brighter than ever before by simply being true to who we are. So, let go of the fear of aging. Stop hiding from the inevitable and start embracing the process with open arms. Let the wisdom you've accumulated shine through in your words, actions, and presence. Aging is not a curse. It is a privilege, and it's a privilege you've earned. Now, every gray hair, every wrinkle, every line tells a story. It tells the story of the woman you've become, the challenges you've overcome, the love you've given, and the joy you've experienced. Each mark on your body is a reminder that you are here, you have lived, and you continue to live. So as you move forward, let the fear of aging dissolve into a deep appreciation for the life you've lived and the life you continue to create. Celebrate your journey, your wisdom, and the beauty that comes with each passing year. Aging is not something to fear, it's something to cherish. As we come to the end of this reflection on life after 70, it's important to remember that the journey is not just about age, but about embracing every moment with openness, joy, and courage. You've spent decades learning, growing, and giving, and now is your time to truly live for yourself. This stage of life is not about slowing down or holding back, but about moving forward with purpose, passion, and the wisdom you've gathered along the way. It is easy to get caught up in what others expect of us or to fall into the trap of comparison. But now, more than ever, it's time to let go of those things that no longer serve you. Whether it's the pressure to meet societal standards, the clutter that fills your home and mind, or the toxic relationships that drain your energy, you have earned the right to choose peace and happiness over obligation. As you embrace the new and release the old, remember that this is your story to tell. Your experiences, your joys, and even your regrets are all part of what makes you unique and beautiful. Don't let fear hold you back from pursuing the things that truly matter. Don't be afraid to try something new, to speak your truth, and to step into a future that is full of possibilities. You are not defined by your age, your past, or your limitations. You are defined by the choices you make now and in the years to come. Let those choices be ones that bring you joy, peace, and fulfillment. Let this time in your life be one of growth, adventure, and unwavering self-love. So, take a deep breath and step forward. The best years of your life are ahead of you, and they begin today.